this on the gram. Throw this on the gram. What's up, y'all? What it do? What it do? What's up, y'all? Hold up. Let me find this, what you call it, really quickly. Where is this link at? Am I tripping? Okay, I'm gonna try Twitter. There we go. All right, y'all, we about to get this joint started. It's about to be lit. I am really excited for this conversation. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Hold up. Okay. All right, y'all. All right. So we up in this thing. Shout out to everybody being. What's good, Streety? So we have a special guest tonight, as y'all can see from the thumbnail. All righty. Cool brother in the building. I'm going to bring him on and I'm going to let him introduce himself, okay? Because we don't got time to waste. This brother ain't got no time to waste, okay? So we're just going to bring him in, okay?
Hi. What up? How are you, Zeze?
I am great. How are you? What's your name?
Doing well. Yeah. Oh, you're hold on. Listen, I got a lot of weirdos that try to DM me and try to get me doxxed and all type of stuff like that. Can we go with M for this evening or?
Okay, but I'm gonna ask your name after this. I'm going to DM you for your actual name, though.
Well, we got each other's contact now, so no, we good.
Okay, lit. Okay, so M, go ahead and introduce yourself for the people right quick.
Listen, I am Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, more affectionately known by MTR. I got my own channel. I would say I started in the YouTube game. It's probably like 2017 or something like that, but it wasn't until 2019 that I started to make content respective to dating, relationships, gender dynamics, like all of those different things. So that's why the name of my channel makes no sense, because I started it doing a lot different things that I am right now. But the name, I always like the name. It's unique as hell. It's long as hell. So like, people got to think twice before adding me in their titles. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But all jokes aside, I'm happy to be over here. Shout out to everybody that's down into the chat. You know what I mean? I want to just have like a good conversation. Can I like cuss over here and stuff like that, Zeze? Or are we gonna keep it? Okay.
We good.
All right. Cool. Yeah, because they demonetize me. You know what I'm saying? They yellow thumb me as soon as I throw up a video. As soon as I'm done with a live stream, I'm like, damn, a yellow dollar sign again. Jesus, YouTube, show me some respect. Show me some damn respect.
I didn't even think about that. Let me go ahead and make sure this joint has right quick. Think about it.
Exactly. The little things matter. You gotta turn that thing on.
Got
absolutely.
What was about to say? I'm glad you said that too, because I was looking at your earlier videos. And nigga, Chipotle. First of all, I appreciate the Chipotle the tip. Okay, a delicious scoop of chicken. I mean, that. It's smart. It's smart. But I was never confused. Like, what the hell was he doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where was he going?
I don't know. I was making shit up as I was going. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, one of my videos that I still have like active back in my catalog is that like I came up with like a foolproof plan to get more larger of a scoop from Chipotle, right? Because they stay disrespecting when they get to the meats. Like, they'll give you like mad rice. You know what I'm saying? They'll give you like decent amount of beans, and when they get to the meat, it's like I don't know what it is. So anyway, I'm not even gonna go into it no more because they don't want to hear about that. It's on my channel. You can go over there and take a look at it. But yeah, I was doing like weird tutorials. Like first, I started off doing like viral videos. I would just talk about viral videos, and like weird tutorials, life tutorials. And then I went and I switched over to a crypto channel in like 2017ish. And then did that for a couple of months, and then in 2019, that's when I started up all of this stuff. So, so yeah, if at first you do not succeed, try again.
As you should, and as you did, and you did succeed. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Like I feel super weird how you have like a good distance from the camera, but then my shit, it's like, damn, like they can see me. You know what I'm saying?
It's good. It's okay. I mean, it's clear, good image, good production. So I mean, that's all that matters. You're good. It's okay.
Awesome.
Don't worry about it. Okay, I gotta ask you this first though. Okay. Are you FBA?
So I'm not gonna lie to you. When you sent over FBA, I had to Google it real quick because I was a little bit. I know what ADOS is, and I was like, FBA. There's another Pan African term. And then so how about this? I'm mixed. Like a lot of people don't know that. So my mom, so my dad was adopted. And so he's African American. And then my mom was born in Puerto Rico. So she's half Puerto Rican and half Caribbean. So, but I grew up with my pops. So I identify with Black. I'm Black culture, but I am mixed. I am in fact a mixie.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Good to know though. Good to know. Okay, so you said you was raised primarily with your father though.
Yeah, indeed. So my parents got divorced when I was I would think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and even years before that I was like, is this what a relationship is supposed to look like? so it was tumultuous for a long period of time, but around that time, and then court system happened, divorce happened, and I ended up staying with my pops, which especially in the Black community is not typically what happens. So, but that happened in my particular situation. So
sorry about that. Somebody called me.
No, you good.
It's not working. I don't know why.
You know what? And I would call that out in the reaction video that I do too. I'm like, she's using her phone. Like, we gotta talk cameras off screen. We gotta talk about cameras. You know what I'm saying? Because people are calling you.
Camera, and I don't know how to work it. I don't understand.
See, that's why I used to make tutorials on technology for Zezes. You know what I'm saying?
That's a blessing. I'm gonna need your help with that. If you can, that would be a blessing. I definitely got a camera that's been sitting over here for like 3 months now. I haven't even touched except for to take pictures with because I don't understand how to use it and connect it to this. It's a great.
I got you. So also too, I talk about this on my channel. I kind of consider myself a hobbyist as well. So before YouTube, this same camera that I'm using, I was a photographer as well. So I know all about cam. That's why like when I first came on, like it was rare for like good camera quality in this section of YouTube, but it's because of my experience with photography that I understood cameras, lighting, positioning, like all the stuff like that. So we could definitely talk. I'll give you some help.
Oh yeah, right? I did notice that. Even your earlier videos, like your first videos was good production. That's a fact. Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
Wait. So can I ask you? So what's the difference between FBA and ADOS?
It's the same shit. It's just coined by 2 different people. It's the same shit though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was like Googling here. I was like Tariq Nasheed made up one, and then the other one like I was like if it's the same shit, why are we divided? Like even in that, like it's it's just division.
ADOS is a little more attached to political realm, so that's why some of us don't attach ourselves to ADOS. We do FBA because that's strictly just has to do with lineage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we try to keep it non-political.
Okay. Got it.
Let me see. Okay, so you was raised by your dad primarily. What did you learn about relationships and women? What did he teach you specifically about relationships and women? And was he an alpha male?
That's a good question. I think if I was to describe my pops, I think he's way more of a sigma male. My pops is very he's a lone wolf. Like growing up with him, it was just me and him. And I would say like most of his life lessons came from work ethic, from a work ethic perspective. And it also came from how to deal with people, right? So I would say like, and that's why I talk about my channel. Like when I define red pill, it's a little bit different than, you know, how the majority of people within the manosphere define red pill. But I define it as understanding not only just female nature, but also male nature as well. I think you have to understand people nature in order to increase the likelihood of whatever you want to get out of life, right? So, and I think that my dad, he did an amazing job, and he was a lone wolf. Like literally, when I say it was me and him throughout my childhood, like it was me and him. Like I never would see like women around the house or anything like that. He was about his purpose. He was about his worth, with his work ethic, because you know he was a musician as well as a school teacher. So during the day he was a music teacher, and then during night he'd be doing studio sessions and all of that stuff. And I think, you know, living with my pops being a musician and seeing that grind, seeing that effort, seeing that hustle, the way that he did it, it like instilled a lot of values within myself. But like from a dating and relationship perspective, our conversations were typically never there. And in fact, what's funny is that when he discovered my channel, because like family members were telling him that I had a channel for like a couple of months, and I don't even think that he even like, because I didn't tell him, you know what I'm saying? And then he went and he looking at my channel, he was just like, where'd you figure out all this relationship advice? Wow, you spit some real shit. And then like he pulled up a video that happened between him and my mom that was like, it pretty much, the reaction video is something that happened. He was like, yeah, I was looking at this video. Did you know your mother used to do like it was funny. Wow. It was a funny conversation. Yeah. So yeah, so I would describe him as more of a Sigma. He's way more of a lone wolf.
Okay. So how was that in the beginning stages of your of dating? You know, how did you find yourself? Like, what type of dater was you? Did you like relationships? Was this a single player? You know, what kind of dude was you when you first started out?
Yeah, so I would say, you know, my main dating age was after I got out of high school. I was also a very late bloomer. Like I didn't, like I'm 6'2" right now. I got into high school at about 5'2", 5'3". The doctors thought I was, the doctors thought I was going to be 5'8" max. So I hit a very late growth spurt. So like I hit puberty late as hell. So I didn't really start to like mature really like that until, you know, like junior to senior year. By that time I had gone off to college. So I would say the main component of my dating life was in college, but I would also describe myself as someone like, I remember I used to talk to like my roommates and shit like that and be like, damn, I just want a girlfriend. So you could kind of describe me as like a simp, like back in the early days, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like on Valentine's Day, I go and buy all of the, you know, the balloons and shit like that, the heart cards and everything like that. So yeah, you could, but at the same time, like, you know, I wouldn't say it was necessarily difficult like after I got into college and started to find out about myself, to like, you know, interactions with women and everything like that. Like I came to that pretty naturally because I'm naturally a charismatic person, you know what I'm saying? But just my mindset around dating and women and women's nature, right? Like wasn't necessarily guarded in reality and much more in the media that I consumed, right? And then the people that was around me.
Stuck in the matrix.
You know about the Matrix, Zeze?
I And you know, I want to ask you about red pill, how you define red pill. But before I get to that, we gotta talk about this first, because I watched this damn video of you and this girl, you telling her about how you got into red pill, or how you basically took the red pill. And I want you to tell the audience this egregious ass story about this woman. Just tell them.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep it short. The full video is up on the channel if you guys want to see. I forget what's the name of it. I think it's like this. This is how it happened, or something like that.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Like when I did that video, I didn't anticipate me talking about it, but I remember like whoever was my guest that was sitting next to me, she just like one video ended, because I usually when I do like the group reactions, I'll just go video after video like a marathon. And then one video ended and she turned and looked at me and she was just like, "Why do you have such a negative view of dating, relationships, da da da?" And then I was like, "Oh, let's turn on the camera." And then I began to like just tell the story. Oh, we got super chats. By the way, y'all better show Zeze some respect and hit on that like button.
You know. Share the stream too. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget to do that.
They better show you some respect. You know what I mean? But long story short, I was going out with this young terrorist, and she essentially told me she had cancer. And she told me she had cancer. And pretty much like I would say like it was at the year mark. And then we went like another 4 months of me thinking that she had cancer. So I was doing all of these things to try to like support what she was going through. She said she would stop talking to her family and a whole bunch of stuff. It was a long story. And which, by the way, I'm happy that it happened because her telling me that ended up me getting my first job, which then turned into my first internship.
Yeah,
so it's crazy how, so it's crazy how things work out. You know what I'm saying? Because I would say before that, like I've always been kind of like a average student, average at best student. But so I was kind of like, I want to say I was lazy, but like I was chilling. I was hanging with my friends. Like we was having a good time. Like, you know, I love my college experience. So I was chilling. I was chilling. So it was good. I needed a kick in the ass. And I actually talk about that on my channel as well, is that like, you know, having reality hit you or like putting yourself down into a red pill rage state for a lot of dudes is often the burning platform that is necessary to promote growth and development within their life. Sometimes not all people need it, not all, but it's a good kick in the ass if you lack it. You know what I'm saying? So, but essentially she was telling me all this stuff. Long story short, I end up finding out all of the dudes that she was messing with during that time because she's claiming that she needed space from me while we was in a relationship. And then at the end of that, the cancer was completely made up. It wasn't real. she completely made up the story. She completely made up the story. So like after
and you
that,
forgot an essential part of this story too. The type of cancer and what was held from you because of this type of cancer.
Yeah, it was ovarian cancer.
Yeah.
So she was telling me, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I can't. I just went to a doctor's office. They gave me a shot. Da 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 da. But then during that time, she was messing with not one, not two, not. I didn't even know the total amount, but it was up 5+ in that time frame. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was what it was at the particular time, and it was a long, long time ago now. But what I often talk about on the channel is what I experienced at that time, which wasn't really defined, because this is like 2004, 2005, somewhere around 2006, around there. Was red pill rage, and I talked through kind of the abyss level thinking that it brought me down into, thinking that you know I can't form bonds and or connections with the opposite sex because they seem to be all liars, and because you know I caught like this really weird outlier of a human being that ended up being a complete terrorist. so it is what it is. So. But often on the channel, I talk about to the dudes that like it's cool to get down there. Maybe cool is not the right word, but you have to figure out ways to get up out of it, right? To alleviate from the situation and to grow and develop, right? And often transmute that anger into your passion, right? To build yourself up. So yeah, that's that story.
Yeah, she was a hot thought pocket rocket.
She was a super thought. Yeah, super thought.
That's terrible. That was terrible. But how did that shift your perspective? How was you when this happened?
20.
You was still in college?
Yeah. I was still in college. So yeah, I think I was like 20-ish around that time.
And this was still early on. Like, how many relationships had you had up until this point?
I think that was my second.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think that was. I think that was my second. But you know, I think at the time it was such an outlier of an experience that it just more so forced me to improve myself, because that for me was to increase who I was, like further understand, because you know I was like in this kind of together mindset, you know what I'm saying? So to switch from that to an individual thinking, an individual mindset, and then increase and improve all of these different facets about my manhood, my masculinity, in order to improve. Without that situation happening, like there's no telling the type of person that I would have been today. So I am thankful. I am grateful that it happened to me, because it gave me that kick in the ass to get up on my shit. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, like I come across so many young men that don't have a kick in their ass until late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s. And they often feel like, damn, I wasted so much time just dealing with bullshit, you know. And often I tell them that, you know, no time is like the present. You know what I'm saying? Like you can always take where you're at, because life is long. Like God willing, like life is extremely long. It doesn't seem like it when you're 30 years old, 28 years old, or what have you, but it's so long. You have a long period of time to fix whatever time that you wasted in the past. So yeah, I'm happy for it.
That's a hell of a lesson to learn, though. God.
Yeah.
In that way. But how did that so you were 20. I could imagine, and you said you had kind of pushed you into the red pill or the red pill rage phase.
It did, yeah. I mean, I also became a thought pocket myself, like right after that. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And so how did you expand on that then? How did it change the perception of women in relationships after that?
Well, I think that, I think that the time within it, right, like girls was always interested, or what have you. So when I got out of it, it was like this explosion of it. But what I think towards is kind of like, it wasn't healthy in nature, right? Like it was just doing it to just do it, right? Like, to just make up for lost time. And then also, because I wasn't like in a healed state of mind, oftentimes I brought myself into situations where I try to see, right, like if these new girls would prove the nature of the girl that I, was in a relationship with. And sadly enough, often they would, right? So it was like self-fulfilling to see, damn, what I just learned about her, let me try to see if other women experience the same thing. So, going into girls' rooms and there's pictures of their boyfriend on their beds and shit like that. And it made me realize that, like, women are potentially ain't shit either. You know what I'm saying? So, because before that I had on rose-colored glasses, but at the same time, the understanding of male nature, right? Because like some of these dudes probably knew that I was in a relationship, or maybe not. Because when I confronted them about it, they were saying that she lied to them and told them that we weren't in a relationship anymore or what have you. So, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's not about the particular failure. It's what you do after the failure. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Damn.
Crazy, right?
That's wild though. That's to the extreme. It's like, damn, but this man got a whole job. That's really wild. Like that's wild as shit.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this too. How do you define red pill? And do you remember when you first got into like red pill content?
Yeah. So So how I define it is, it's not just the understanding of female nature, and not only just understanding male nature as what I also say on the channel as well, but it's really creating the reality that you live in. Right. So if you think back to the Matrix reference, blue pill, red pill, or what have you, you know what I'm saying? Being able to take the red pill got you up out of the Matrix. And because of that, you were able to get up out of this forced reality that society had placed you into, and then forge your own path in this new concocted reality, irrespective of this new reality being not all roses and sunshines compared to the contrived reality. So, so much on the channel, I try to push that, don't necessarily consider what you might think you are not privileged in as your reality. Because I'm proof, and the people, especially like on my Patreon, are proof that you can create exactly the type of person that you want to be, like irrespective of, the barriers or the roadblocks, as long as you put the hours in the gym to be able to do that. So I think of red pill as more of an something that you can take, feed it into your soul to change and alter your reality, but more so to understand the concepts of the humans that are around us, the nature of the humans around us.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Can I ask you some questions, Zeze? Or is this only my
answer the second part of my question, sir?
Is there another part? What's up?
Yes. Do you remember the first type of, like, when did you get into red pill content? Was it AMS? How did you first get into even the realm of the manosphere?
Yo, so the first time, so I didn't know the manosphere even existed. Okay, so here's how it started. I had one of my homegirls that was visiting for the weekend. Okay. And we were watching YouTube. And there was another YouTuber who I followed like 4 years prior. And on his community chat post said, he said it, not me. Right. And then the video that he linked was AMS, they're all sluts. I don't know if you ever seen that video.
Oh, I have seen that. Oh,
yeah. And I was looking at the video like, yeah. I was looking at the video like, what is this? So my homegirl was looking at the video. I turn and look at her, and she's like convulsing, like watching him speak. And I was like, we should do a reaction video, because like she was losing her mind. So we ended up not doing a reaction video to that video. It was another video.
Okay.
But it was another AMS video.
Okay.
And then I just posted it. Like I didn't know there was like a dating sect on YouTube. I didn't know there was like, you know, the PUAs and the dating game and the, you know, the gender dysfunction YouTubers. Like I had no idea. And then I posted it and it got like tens of thousands of views. And I was like, what is this? Like, so that's when I started to like really investigate the space and try to understand what was going on. And then I continued to do reaction videos with like mostly young women that were sitting like right next to me. And we'd be doing it on like red pill topics or what have you. So that was kind of my introduction into the space from a content perspective. But what I soon found out is a lot of the things that I taught myself over the prior decade, a lot of the men in the space were talking through those things as well. So I think it was a nice combination, to say the least.
Okay. What was you about to say? What was you about to ask?
I don't forgot now. You know what I mean?
It'll come back to you. Don't worry about it.
You over here asking all these good questions. You know what I'm saying? I get unfocused. You know.
Okay. Now, all right. So hold on. You said you grew up primarily with your father. Okay, he's FBA.
Yeah.
Your mother's Puerto Rican, so it's a little bit different because I did assume that you were FBA. I kind of just thought you. I had to ask you, but I kind of assumed that you were. But I still want to hear your perspective because a lot of Black American men specifically who grew up in households with their mothers, you know, a lot of us, period, grew up with just our mothers in the household. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of us have like this matriarchal aspect in our families, you know, and it's like we have a hard time holding women accountable, especially for men. You know, it's very weird that not even weird, it's understandable, but it's a lot of men that have a hard time holding their mothers and then in turn other women accountable. So do you think that it is necessary, you know, for especially young men to kind of shift them into their focus, for them to kind of get not even if it's not necessarily something directly towards them with the woman, you know, whether it's getting hurt as something as egregious as what you went through, but even seeing that from a friend or from their father or from a brother, do you think that is necessary for them to see like how far female nature can go, you know, how far women can go, you know, if we get too emotional, if we're in a toxic state?
Yeah. So I think it's important to, I don't think all young men need to absolutely like experience that type of pain. I think like you can learn from experience, you can learn from other people's mistakes, you can learn from information that you can find online, whether it be, you know, the content on YouTube or podcast or what have you. But I do think that there has to be a fundamental shift in the Black community. We are absolutely a matriarchal community because of the 70% single Black mother rate, which is 20 to 30% higher than the next than any other race, right? So I think that there's absolutely a problem with that, and I do think that there's a lot of young men, you know, that are confused, you know, when it comes to how to deal with women, right? Like, and they get angry, you know. So, but I think at the same time, what's bubbling up on YouTube, and I think is ever more important, is this presence of Black male media, right?
Yeah.
And I think because it is so new, right? It's so new because there really hasn't been a space for male media, and it's not been a space so much that women in general, in mass, think that men don't want to talk about things, right? They don't want to share things that are on their mind. They don't want to, you know, detail kind of the things that they're going through. And I think that what this sector of YouTube absolutely shows is that there's absolutely, you know, spaces to be able to do that. I think that because of the single mother rate within the Black community, what you start to see now is an extreme influx of young dudes that come in that are just thirsty for information. They're just thirsty for knowledge, right? So, I mean, and there's absolutely a market for it, so much so that you start to see some of these mainstream media entities reaching out to bubbling YouTube creators, right? To see what's good, to see what's popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to promote ads on channels and stuff like that. So it's definitely there. And I don't think it's going anywhere. It may slightly shift as it goes off into the future, right? Especially as it gets more eyes that kind of come down into the sector. You start to see some of the eyes that recently have come down. Like, you know, I did a reaction on Dr. Umar Johnson. I know Charlamagne the God, or like the Breakfast Club was mentioning some folks that are down in here, you know, and just other names like that. So I think that what's established right now, from a media perspective, doesn't push a lot of the ideals that are right over here. And I think that there's a lot of young men that are hungry for this information over here, because it doesn't necessarily placate to them. It doesn't necessarily pander to them, right? They get different messages than what they've ever experienced before. So I got like a little gnat over here. Killing my game, you know what I mean?
Oh, I got a question. Shout out to
wait, hold up. I got a question. Hold up, Zeze. Can I ask? May I ask, Mama?
Go ahead.
How did you first come across my channel?
I was about to ask you the same damn thing.
Like mine's.
That's crazy. Oh, okay. How did I come across your channel? Damn. I want to say it had to be after I watched, like, I think, you know what? I think I watched Alpha Male Strategies. I was watching his videos, and one of your videos reactions popped up, and the suggested. And then after that, I just started binge watching a bunch of your reaction videos. And it was, you know, we've been here. I think I've been following you for at least like a good year or so now, at least.
That's dope. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's lit.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's super lit. That's super lit.
And how did you find my channel?
Through the reaction videos. And then so through the reaction, so people sent me stuff. I think someone sent me some of your content before, like a long time ago. And I remember I looked at it, but the thing is like what happens is that like I got this whole list of stuff because, you know, people send me stuff on Instagram, but people send me so much stuff that it's hard to go back to other things that people had sent that people had sent me, right? Because I just don't have enough time in the day to make reactions off of all of the stuff that's happening. So when I sent the most recent video that I reacted to and then put on my channel, and then I went down up in there and then DM'd you and we started having a conversation. Like, yo, you want me to come over to the channel? Let's have a smooth conversation, because I like your content. I like your energy too. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Wait, I got another question. I heard you have a twin.
I do. I have a twin. I do have a twin.
Is it identical? Identical twin?
Yeah, identical. She's a minute older. Only 60 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, if you go back in my videos, when I originally started my channel, it was us. We were the A twins, the AE twins. So that's like the first 50 videos is just of me and my sister.
All right, I'm gonna go back there. Like, actually, I'm gonna go there right now. I'm listening. I want to take a look. Yeah, because I always want to see, like, because I remember, like, I was in summer camp one year as a kid, and my camp counselor like was super cool. Like, you know the cool camp counselors, like, you know what I'm saying? You go in there, you just happy to see them, and then all of a sudden one day a twin popped up, and like it just blew all of our mind. You know what I'm saying? So I always like to go look at twins and see how closely do they actually look. You know what I mean?
I am weak. Yeah, we definitely. We got an Instagram together too. I mean, we won't post something like that, but it's more recent content or pictures up there with us, you know. But yeah, definitely. Let me see. You know, made me lose track of where the hell I was at. Where am I at? Okay. So, you mentioned inside that red pill video. Actually, no. Let me do this first. So, a lot of times when men get take the red pill, you know, and start to see females for like female nature, in its like rawest form. Yeah. A lot of times they're labeled jaded. I think even in a video of you telling the girl what happened, she was like, you have a jaded perspective of, you know, relationships and women now and all these other things. But it's funny because a lot of the times when women go through the same experiences, it's, oh my gosh, you're so strong for coming out of that. You're a strong, independent woman. Like, you know, we get boasted up, glorified, and get these wonderful labels, you know, feminist labels for seeing for seeing males' nature. Yeah. So do you think, especially in the Black community, do you think that's kind of like a ploy from the matriarch setup that we have? Do you think that's like a ploy to, you know, kind of cover up some of our darker behaviors?
I think it comes down to money. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it comes down to economics. You know what I'm saying? If women are spending 75 cents to 25 cents that men are spending on average, right? From a business perspective, it would make sense to create content that continues to pander. to the consumer. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, you know, that's how you get plus size models, you know, within a body positivity movement. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I mean, it's such a confusing, topic because, you know, on high, you have a lot of different actors that are doing different things to placate in general, in mass. And the thing is that, again, I think part of the benefit within the establishment of male media or black male media is that it can start to give some credence to the opposite points. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I just did a video specific to the baby and the baby. You seen that one?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, whether or not that video was complete and utter parody or not, I think that what that does is that it just paints a negative picture of men in general in mass, and it doesn't go checked. And that right there is exactly what your question is. Like, that has to be checked. Like, before there was you know, like back in the 90s and shit like that, you could say like the F word when referring to homosexual people, and no one would bat an eye. You know what I'm saying? That was normal go outside playground banter amongst young boys who were, you know, competing. You know what I'm saying? But the LGBTQ community started, and they started to gain traction because they have their own platforms and their own medias, and started to put pressure on different language. And that's the thing, is that what I think that this sector does is it can put pressure on language that is being used, different tactics that are being used. So yeah, so I think what really it comes down to is economics.
Okay. Yeah. Now that makes sense, though. It definitely does. And honestly, they make more money with us being separated. Anyways, so that's always going to feed into the gender war, which we're going to get into in a moment. Now, also, I want to touch on this red pill rage again just one more time, because I see a lot of brothers who get into the red pill thing, red pill manosphere, and I mean, actually, you just inside your video, Red Pill Exposed, you touched on this in that video. How some of these brothers, like, I mean, they get to a point where, I mean, it's like, even like sisters like myself, who's actually trying to learn, or I mean, it's like, you know, they're not even trying to hear us at this point. Like, they've gotten to a point where they're just completely almost hating women. It's kind of bad, you know. So do you think that some of these brothers are avoiding, you know, although it is female nature, you know, which is, you know, something it's a hard pill to swallow, something, you know, something kind of messed up to see, you know, especially if you go through something as yourself. But do you think some of these brothers are missing self accountability? You know, they're not understanding what they've allowed some of these women to do, and what their actions they could have changed along the way.
Yeah, I mean, and I also did the conversation yesterday with Blue Jasmine, and I don't know if you saw that. I mean, and really what it is at the end of the day is that men enable the behavior. Men enable the behavior. You know, so, you know, when I had a conversation with Sister Shahrazad Ali, and I specifically asked her which gender has to step up to the plate and take control, and she said the men. I already knew what her answer was going to be, but I wanted to get it out of her mouth. Right. So the men need to be able to do that, but you can't do that in a red pill rage state. You can't. You don't have what it takes quite yet. You're still in the metamorphosis stage, right? You're still you gotta break up out of that cocoon, right? Because at that stage, then you're no longer focused so much on what's happening outward and pointing a finger at nature, this, that, and the third. And you're taking a look inward and forcing that accountability within yourself. Because, like I've said before, there's degrees of the talking points of nature that we talk about that sort of vanish the more awesome that the man becomes, right? So, because there's also a lot of dudes who just expect that because I got a twig and berries, you should submit to me. And it generally doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to have something to submit to, right? You got to have knowledge, leadership potential to submit to. You got to have financial education and foundation and structure within your thinking to submit to, right? She's got to be able to trust that you're going to be able to lead her to the promised land and back again, and be relatively secure within that process, right? So, and within a red pill rage state, like you're not there at that particular junction in your and you're developing to be a butterfly.
Yeah. And you brought up the queen. I was gonna bring her up, but you know what? We jumping around with it. Fuck it.
Come on.
I love the queen, Shahrazad Ali. I shout her out all the
Oh,
time.
you saw her?
Yeah,
You
I've
saw the
seen that
conversation?
interview too. I love the interview, by the way. I'm so glad you brought her on the channel. She's I hope to speak to her one day because she is definitely she up there.
She's no joke. Have you read her book? I got her books right here. Have you?
Yeah, I've read her book. The only one I haven't read the opposite to Black Woman's Guide to understand. No, I haven't read that one.
Yeah.
Black Woman's Guide to Understand the Black Man. I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, I haven't read this one yet. It's on my reading list for this week. But yeah, I went all through this one right before the interview because I wanted to make sure I had an extremely good foundation. Like I've reacted to a whole bunch of her clips prior to her coming up.
Yeah.
But I wanted to read the book just to make sure that I wasn't missing any components. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, she dropped gems all throughout that book.
All throughout.
Self-reflection. I mean, it's had me looking at my sisters, my friends, my mother, my aunts, my grandmother. I was like, dang. I mean, literally every part of that book, I was able to point something out with a Black woman in my life. So at some point, like no part of that book I could not relate it to my life in some way. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And that book was written 30 damn years ago. And
30.
It's
and
wild
it's
because
so much that exists today, unfortunately, because it's been unchecked for so long. You know what I'm saying? And I often say this on my channel is just like, because people used to get mad at me that I would bring so much toxic things that I find around the internet and bring them on the channel and be able to react to them. But my thing is like, well, if you don't let people know that it exists, like, how do we combat it? Right. Like if this is a problem that most think that it's a splinter as opposed to a compound fracture, then that's an issue. My bad. I was trying to let the motorcycle pass, but
damn, how you
yeah. Those loud like shit. Yeah, I got headphones. These are pretty good. No, I'm just joking. These are cheap headphones, but I think that it's important to not only just identify the problems, but then have the people who are enacting the problems understand to the gravity of what the problem is occurring, and then put a magnifying glass on it so that they can see that this is happening. And my challenge was, can anyone do daily videos on the opposite side of the coin? Right? Like can anyone do daily videos of finding men doing inherently toxic stuff time after time after day after day after day? I mean, and I haven't seen it, right? I see some folks out there that do weekly content and stuff like that, but and maybe it's also a function of people having time to create content. So is it so much that that it doesn't happen, right? Doesn't happen a lot, or is it that this is a major issue and the content over here points a finger at something that's been going on way too long?
Yeah, that's a fact. And you see it, like you said, you definitely see the effects because when she wrote that book 30 years ago, that was our mothers, our aunts, grandmothers, all tearing this woman down, and really trying to act like whatever she was writing was disingenuous or untruthful. And you see the effects of that today, especially with modern women, because of the time. I mean, the woman you had on yesterday was a perfect example. I don't even think she's the FBA. So I mean, but she was a good example of some of the effects you see in women today. Now, I'm kind of curious because you're from New York, right?
Yes.
So I'm kind of curious, what type of women? Do you live in New York right now?
No.
Where you live?
Undisclosed location due to weird people on the internet.
Heard that. Gotcha.
Stay trying to dox me, Zeze. Jesus Christ. Latter-day Saints.
Sheesh. No, but I do want to know, like, what has your experience been with because I know, at least for people like New York women on the East Coast, even here in DC and Maryland, the masculine energy, is very present in a lot of us, in the way our mannerisms, the way we move, the way we talk, the way we, interact. And a lot of it is I don't know, up north in East Coast girls, we can be very disrespectful. I don't think I've met a group of more disrespectful women than over here, if I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? So what has your experience been with some of the modern day women that you
are you in the DMV area?
Yeah, I am. I'm from Maryland.
Okay. Are you from Maryland? Merlin. Okay.
Yeah, Merlin.
Gotta say it how y'all say it. So the question is, what have been my experience?
Yeah.
So let me talk about it like this. So coming from New York, right, like being a New Yorker, you get very used to dealing with masculine energy women so much that you start to like it. You start to like it. You absolutely do. So much so that you think that like that toxicity is necessary, within a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Um, the current relationship that my pops is in, my pops is in a relationship right now with his high school sweetheart. And one thing that they always talk about is that they never argue. They've never fought ever. They never really raised their voices at each other. Right. And I think like a lot of us have convinced ourselves that that toxicity is what's necessary for a good relationship. Like you got to have the ultimate lows as well as the incredible highs. And I just don't believe that. And I would say to dudes, like, that's the number one thing. Like if you find yourself constantly arguing with her, there's constantly an issue, then you got to do your best to try to remove yourself up out of that situation. Because that energy is just going to be an anchor within your life. You won't be able to reach your true ultimate form of yourself, your final form, your ultra instinct form, until you relieve some of that anchor. So yeah, so I left New York wanting and expecting that behavior and that energy, and it took me years to understand that is generally not what women want to be at. They typically generally do not want to be exhibiting masculine energy and or behavior. They would love to be feminine. But the issue also too is that a lot don't know how to do it, right? Because if they, saw their single mother who probably enacted more masculine behaviors in order to protect, right? Like, which has to happen if the man is not there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if that's what they watched, right? If they saw dudes coming in and out the house, right? Like, it just, on top of, modern day feminism, modern day sexual liberation movement, like all of these different things that are happening, the media, the songs, the this, the that, right? Like, it pushes a lot of information into young women's minds that can, especially in New York, especially in New York. I would say like, it changes depending upon where you grew up at. Like if you grew up in the South, you know what I'm saying, and you was raised in a much more traditional family, you know what I'm saying, then and you saw it happening, you'd have a much different temperament, right? Much different temperament than being raised in a concrete jungle. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, there's disrespect that happens from, women, from masculine energy, but then you also have disrespect from emotional ass dudes. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a real thing. We got too many of our young men that, act off of emotion. They react as opposed to respond to situations. You know what I'm saying? So I try within my content to go over content like that as well. Like I just reacted to a young man who was in a clearly toxic relationship with his baby mother, and she tried to murder him by running him over in a car.
Oh, I seen that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
And this brother was just acting like it was another day in the office, right?
Yeah.
He's at the level of toxicity where he probably likes that shit. He probably craves that toxic energy from her. And it's just, another day at the office. So, there's a lot of PTSD that we all got to take time to be able to recover from the experiences that we had in our life.
Okay. I mean, yeah, because and even on the opposite side of that, like you said, I think a lot of these sisters are they're kind of used to dealing with the over emotional men, with the men they can kind of exert that masculine energy on, I want to ask you this too though. Do you consider yourself a modern man?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I live in modern times. So do you mean from a dating relationship perspective?
Like a dating perspective, yeah.
Okay. So I would say I've transitioned now, right? Like I think as I was getting older, right? Like it didn't have the financial foundation that I've tried to build up for myself now. I was much more in the mindset of 50-50, right? But as I've gotten older and things have changed for me, I would say I'm not like that anymore, right? So my definition has changed, has evolved over time. And the thing is that like, I think everybody should be a component of evolution over time. Who you are today is not who you're going to be tomorrow, potentially, right? But to always be flexible and agile with new information that folks find out, right? Like that's a lot of the reason why I do the interview yesterday with Blue Jasmine, because typically most people would say that there's nothing to learn from her, you know, because she operates Earth a lot differently than the majority of people on Earth. But you never know. Like you never know until you have a conversation with them, which is
Yeah.
why I try to, brand my channel around critical thinking and cerebral thought and this discussion focused content that also focuses on finding solutions to things at the end of it. So
Do you find yourself being attracted to the? Well, actually, no. You said in your stream that you're not attracted to women like the Blue Jasmines at all.
oh hell no. I stay far away. If she wanted to do that interview in person, I would decline immediately. No, I feel like she's the type. No disrespect if she ever sees this, but I feel like she's the type where we do an interview right here, she leaves, and I'll be like, damn, where did I put my Chase debit card? You know, I could have sworn, shit, where's my cell phone? I could have sworn.
Oh wait, now I don't put it past her ass even though she was scandalous. That was a scandalous ass. Egregious. But what about modern women? Maybe not to that extreme, but do you find yourself being attracted to modern women of, maybe of a lesser sort or the traditional type?
Sorry, I lost the question. Can you repeat that again?
Do you find yourself being more attracted, or do you actually not even do you find yourself being more attracted? I guess you can do both sides. Do you get more attention from the modern women of, like, maybe not to her extreme, but maybe of a lesser sort, like the strong, independent, I pay my own bills, all this other bullshit type woman, or like the traditional, I want to be a housewife, stay-at-home mom, what type do you find yourself interacting with more?
So I will say this, my dating game over the past year and change has been absolutely trash. And that's a lot of that is because of all of the work that I've been trying to put into the channel. So it's almost like, the more work that I do, the less time that I have time for dating. And then, like, I take a look at like the dating apps and stuff like that, and I'm just like, man, I don't even want to waste my time going up there and starting to swipe and shit like that. So I've been a lot more intentional about getting out the house, getting out of my lair, my dungeon, my creation studio, my office, to make sure that I'm still going outside and building relationships and shit like that. So but I say that to say, I think like at the end of it, like irrespective of if they have much more of a traditional mindset or a modern mindset, I'm much more apt to go with a woman whose mindset I can respect. Right. Of course, like I want the typical things, the in decent shape, understands her femininity, is confident within her femininity, and I am attracted to. But at the same time, I think one of the biggest things for me, especially at this stage of the game, is mindset, right? Like, is she going to? Can I talk about something and then she can kind of relate to the conversation in a way that I'm just like, man, like she knows what she's talking about, right? Like, or man, like, can I respect her mentality, right? And I think like for the dudes that are down up in here that are considering marriage, like, man, like that respect of communication, that respect of her mindset, right? Her goals, her ambitions, like the walk of life that she wants to live is goddamn paramount, especially if you think about spending the rest of your life with a young lady, right? Like for the ladies too. I would assume that what I just said also goes for the ladies that are most of your followers, men or women? I'm curious.
No, men, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking down into the chat. I keep going from the private to the comments, and I keep seeing, man, Zeze looks amazing tonight. I'm like, damn, son, stop sipping. Chat, stop sipping. Show yourself some respect. Show some respect. But anyway, yeah. So yeah. so and click on the goddamn like button. Show us some respect. But anyway, yeah, I would say, to me, it's much more of a mindset thing. Like and also too, it's like with the goals, like, because if you think about long-term relationships, families, cohabitating, or marriage, for the folks that are thinking about that, right? Like having kids is a major shift. That's a major change, right? So like understanding, is she gonna want to work, right? Like during that, is she not gonna want to work during that, right? Like, and if she doesn't want to work, does the amount of money that you bring in, does it make sense for that particular lifestyle? Like, I think it's important things to think through and talk about.
Yeah. Well, on the flip side of that, for modern men, a lot of not not even just young brothers, honestly. A lot of just modern men with that mentality when it comes to relationships, they're kind of passive in the roles, like
Yeah.
they don't have a problem with the woman being the breadwinner, you just had, matter of fact, I think you reacted to it, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Dwayne talking about his wife outworks him and she leads the household, and egregious. So do you think that some of these modern men who are accepting these sort of this sort of new ideals of relationships, do you think that's kind of stopping them from furthering going into their masculinity or into their manhood?
Which is why I say all the time that the development of the content within the sector is so critically important. So critically important. Because a lot of dudes just don't know what they don't know. And you can't blame them when they haven't had content to consume. Right? Like they haven't had, and if they haven't seen it, how can you expect them to do it? Right? Like if all they've seen before is Dwayne Wade talking about how he conducts his relationships, right? Like if that's the standard, that alpha athlete is talking about how this, that, right? Like, and here's the thing, I say stuff like that. If it works for him, then it works for him. You know what I'm saying? But we talk about outcomes on my channel. We talk about results, and the majority of women, right, want to be in a secure relationship with a dude that provides for, right? Like, so that's because most women, after they have kids, don't want to feel like they need to work, right? Like, so so I think dudes understanding that, also interjecting that, hey guys, listen, I understand, right? Your testosterone, your hormones are blaring in your 20s, but there's ways that you can go about this and make key choices and or decisions in your life now that will pay off extreme dividends into the future, right? If you get focused, right? You dig down deep, you practice the idea of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, challenging yourself, right? Making sure that your body stays in shape, like all of these different concepts regarding manhood and masculinity that I think a lot of brothers don't hear it until they get later off in life, in general, in mass. But I think the content within this particular space is starting to shift that mantra. So if anything, I would say all of the lady detractors that come down into the sector, right? Like, number one, the content's probably not for you if you have an issue with it, or the content is probably talking directly about you. But at the same time, men need a space to be able to talk about things, right? And not just be held by geography, right? Like talking to your friends on the block or your friends at the barbershop, but just being able to go up somewhere online and being able to have spaces to be able to communicate about these things is ever more important.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. That's why I'm very happy. I was very when I first got into the content. I think I've always been a little red pilled, or like I've always had a lot of male friends. So, what I'm saying? I've always been able to kind of empathize with a male's way of thinking. And so, like, when I kind of got into the red pill content, it wasn't like even hearing alpha male strategy, you say, "Oh, women are sluts." It was like, damn, that was a great. But I do know a lot of women that's that's out here. So it was kind of an easy pill to swallow in that sense. But for a lot of women, especially modern day, they're not too fond of the type of content that's in the manosphere, or hearing male-centered content. And that kind of even goes into everyday life, because a lot of modern women, they lack the empathy or the patience to understand, the wanting to understand, the way men think or what men really want, And I kind of want to know, like, because again, bringing it back to Shahrazad Ali, she tried to warn us 30 years ago, about our behaviors and about some of the things we were doing then and how the later effects would have, and we're still seeing that play out today. So, and she said this, and you did just say this earlier. She said that this 30 years ago, that the black man was the number one issue. Okay. I want to know your perspective. Do you think that's still true to this day? Do you think that the black man is the number one issue, and that if he's corrected, then the black woman will follow? Because I mean, I don't know. I love the queen, but I don't know I don't know if it's all the way true now. There's a lot of brothers getting their shit together, and there's a lot of sisters who not even trying at this point. But I want to know your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I say this on the channel all the time is that there's a lot of dudes that are very active in improving themselves, and when you know have conversations with a lot of young ladies, they seem extremely passive within that.
Mm,
So I would say it is. A lot more of our ladies have a farther place to go, and because
mm,
I think that they've been receiving so much incorrect information for such a long time, and they've been pandered to for so long, right? Like, and if they didn't have actual male influence, right? Like, if they didn't see treatment of a man, right, in a good light and not in a toxic light, right?
mm,
If they took WAP type songs and they took it to heart and stuff like that, right? Like, so it's a lot more, and plus you guys receive a lot of images in terms of beauty standards, right? Like, so you guys have been marketed to from people who really don't care about you, right? In general, in mass for decades, and it continues to promote the division, you know what I'm
mm.
saying, between the black man and the black woman. So I think a lot of dudes have just said, bump this shit, I'm out, and just decided to, save themselves, and
Yeah.
don't even like date within the community. But I do think that there's a lot of dudes, if given the opportunity to see a much more healed version of the community, will probably come back. But even from a numbers perspective, most dudes are not marrying out.
Mm,
But that's a whole nother marketing ploy that facts and data can disprove as well. So
yeah.
mhm.
And actually, I want you to touch on that too, because modern women are, uh, with the masculine energy, a lot of us, hold and interact, how we interact with men, and the disrespect, the audacity, to the entitlement, the selfishness, just the egregious behavior, that some of us have, and we display on a
Mhm.
daily. How do you think black men should move with us now? Because at this point,
Well,
you know,
well,
what you think?
I think you should get away from them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like, if I was to look at my life, I'm like, and I talk about this recently in that Red Pill Exposed video. If I was looking at my life, the women that I allow around me are not like the Blue Jasmines, right?
yeah, not me either. Not to that extent. Hell no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not like that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I am very intentional about the energies that I keep around me. I'm very intentional, right? Like, I'm
Mm,
super intentional, right? Like, if I sniff out bad energy, I'm just going to go in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? So I think dudes have to get extremely good at identifying what I call on my channel key indicators and red flags. Key indicators are warning signs.
mm,
Red flags is like, okay, know what it is, okay,
mm,
and understand what it is, because you've identified these red flags. This just might be for butt, and that's cool. But understand, don't get your emotions wrapped up in it. Okay, have fun, but then understand where her energy currently is. All right, it's gonna be an anchor to you, young man. It's gonna be
mm,
it's gonna be an anchor to you. So yeah, so that's what I think, is that we can do things within ourselves to take accountability for the people that we allow in. And often, if you're a dude and you constantly receive bad energy women in your life, it might be because you're bad energy.
yeah.
I think
Getting
like
to put it out.
energies,
To put out.
yeah, yeah, I think like energies attract. Generally, abyss level people will attract other abyss level people. Unaccountable people will attract other unaccountable people, because essentially they're pandering to each other, right? Like, they
Mm,
they do their own shit. Like, the abyss level people always talk about negative shit around other abyss level people. If I have someone comes around me that's always talking about like negative shit, right? Like, it removes my energy from me, right? It doesn't pour energy in, because they just want to suck from you. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So
yeah. Even the men who do have these women around them, do you think they're what do you suggest is a good form of correction? Because right now, especially for black women, you can't even tell us to put our damn bonnets on. Not wear our bonnets out the damn house. So what do you think right now black men should be? Should they be going about trying to correct women?
I'm
Because they
so
are.
sorry. I just saw a comment said, in a nice way, he's saying, "You single moms for sex." Oh my God.
Egregious. Oh my God.
We gotta. This is what we gotta deal with, guys.
Oh
All right.
my God.
This is what we gotta deal with. That's why I like on our videos. Keep on hitting the like button. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we have human beings like that come down in there and take something that I said and just say, "You single moms for sex." Jesus Christ.
Brother, get out the red pill state.
That looks like a lady, Tiffany.
Is that a woman?
Yeah, Tiffany Taylor. Tiffany.
Okay,
Tiffany. Go to church, Tiffany. Go to church. Your energy is screaming through the chats. All right? Screaming through the chats, Tiffany. You are the abyss level person I was just talking about. Gents, if anyone's dating Tiffany Taylor, get her out of there. Get her out of there. She doesn't deserve your good energy. Tiffany Taylor. How dare you come on here with your first and last name? Just saying complete bullshit. I feel like I recognize her. I feel like she's been on my goddamn my YouTube videos saying all types of dumb shit. Dumb shit. That was a dumb comment, Tiffany. 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 That was stupid. That was stupid. 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 All right, I'm done. Sorry, I don't really roast like that on my channel, but
hey, look, that was well deserved. I'm not tripping.
You invited me though, Zeze.
I'm not
tripping. I can cuss and shit like that.
I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
She got what she did. She got it. She got it. It is what it is.
Listen, sorry. Hopefully she just
even for women like her. How do men? How are you going about correcting even with women in your life that your mother's, your sister? I mean, yes, your own child, right?
I am. Okay.
Maybe cousins.
So listen. So I was an only child. I was born an only child, but I found out later in life I had a sister, an older sister.
Oh.
And yeah, she's mad cool. She's mad dope. She's from Brooklyn. Yeah, and she's mad cool. And it was a situation where it's from my pop side too. It was a situation where her mother, my sister's mother, never told my pops. And around that same time, he went off to college and just never told him. And she assigned birth to some other random dude that was not the father, right? Like, so, we talk about all times on this channel, this idea of paternity fraud, and how egregious of an act that it is, because she had to have known something. She had to have known something. But then instead of doing the correct thing, which is to go and get a paternity test, she assigned ownership to another man. Another man's name was put on the birth certificate. So
that's wild.
Yeah, it's just something that happens. Did Tiffany say anything else? I want to continue to roast. Did she? No. Hopefully she just unsubscribes from me and doesn't unsubscribe from you. I'm so sorry, Zeze, if I made you lose it.
I'm about to get this boat. I don't even even for the Tiffany's though, how do you go about holding women around you accountable, correcting them?
Well, I try not to get around ladies that I have to instruct, because again, it's a lot of energy, right? It's a lot of energy. And I say, like, at the end of the day, like, there's just some of us that just don't need to be saved, right? Like, they're just too far gone. You know what I'm saying? And even like, on my my Patreon and stuff like that, I get a lot of like messages from folks that are in all stages, from willing to learn, willing to understand, to just wants to fight about points. And they join the Patreon to be able to do that, which is beyond me. I don't get why. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a clear path and a clear vision for what it is that I'm trying to do. So when it comes to correction, I think that men have to lead by example, right? And I think you have to be direct. I think that you have to, but here's the thing. I think what a lot of dudes actually misconstrue is taking the talking points from the sector and correcting from an entertainment perspective versus correcting from something that you can actually use with everyday people in reality, right? So like, here's the thing. And when I look at the content on my channel, when I bring someone through and we start to have a conversation, oftentimes I let them speak, but I don't necessarily correct right there, right? Because correcting them for a public audience can be embarrassing to a lot of people. So I usually just let the conversation play out. There's things that I challenge them on, and we have spirited debates and shit like that. But generally, you will not be the cool person at the party, course correcting people live and direct and in public. You know what I'm saying? So we have conversations off screens that go like a little bit deeper into it. But often on the channel, often on the channel, I see, damn MTR, you should have, and I'm just like,
I seen a couple videos. I was like, you should have got her. You should have been on her ass. I can't even.
Yeah. There's definitely times where I probably could have turned it up to another level, but there's a difference between known relationships and unknown relationships, right? If someone's just calling in and I don't know them, I can be extremely live and direct. But if I want to continue to maintain a relationship with the folks around and they're not being inherently disrespectful, then, you know, you just let them talk. But see, the thing is that letting them talk gives the state of the union, gives the state of the modern lady's mind today. And I think a lot of people can glean off of that, get information off of that, which is a lot of the mindset that I went into yesterday's conversation, is not necessarily challenging her on what she did was wrong and her entitlement of taking advantage of a simp sucker ass dude, but it's really to peel back the onion to continue to understand, how did you get here? How did you get here? And why do you think that this is normal? Even though I think that she's actually, if I was to say, she's not an idiot. She's not a dumb girl. And I think that she knows what she does is outrageous, but she's just in a state of mind of not caring and just doing for self, you know?
Yeah, she gonna fuck around and care too damn late. I don't know who the man she engaged to, but Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Outrageous. And I see Streety. I don't read the questions in the chat. I only read the questions on the page. You gotta subscribe to the Patreon. I told y'all before, this is the damn interview. Subscribe to the Patreon if you want to ask questions. I'm not doing the questions in the chat. I put the super chats on the screen. That's it. I'm not reading them. If you want to read them, you can read them. I'm not reading them though. I'm not doing it. Okay, I got the questions already lined up. Patreon questions. That's it. Okay. But we're gonna switch gears for a second because I have something I want you to react to real quick. Okay, quick little video. I want your perspective.
What's this, Zeze? What video is this?
It's not pretty. It's not pretty. I try to tell y'all, Streety, let their ass know. Let them know. You know what to do, mine. Okay, all right. Hold on. Let me put this up on the screen. Okay.
That's how it started. Yup. Now everybody mad. Like the fuck I said, he the same nigga that likes to bend over with his tongue in his ass. Yup. That's what he like. Little dick ass bitch. I made my son by my motherfucking self. He look like me. Fuck. Stop fucking asking me to delete the shit. Cause I'm not. Fuck. He's gonna get embarrassed. I don't give a fuck. Come get me. I got bail money. Yup. I did that shit. Yup. Yup. Who mad? Ooh. Called the cops on me. Taking pictures of his ruined ass shit. Fuck. His mom gave me her number and was the same one saying I would have shot his ass. Egging his shit on. Now nobody want no motherfucking parts. Oh, okay. Was in Miami with her last year.
Yeah. So if you didn't get the gist of that, she called her man cheating. His mother is the one that actually told her that he was cheating, and that was her graceful reaction.
Have you ever heard my Hood Booger song?
No.
Would you like to?
Sure.
I'm just kidding. You know what I did? I went on Fiverr and I had someone sing the words Hood Booger in the melody na 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 na. Hey, goodbye. So sometimes on some of my videos of the most egregious Hood Booger, I put that soundbite on the end of the particular song, and that's what I was thinking about in that entire video. I mean, listen. I mean, here's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's the second time you used my word too. Just putting that out there.
What word?
Egregious.
Oh, you use that too?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Come on, Zeze. Look at us with the SAT words. Look at us being cool. All right. Listen, she told herself, by the way, she talked about she eats his butt. You know, like,
yeah, I was like, that's a bad look for you. I don't know why you put that out there, but okay.
You grocery eater.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Immediately I think to myself, what a disgusting situation. What a terrible situation. What has she been exposed to within her life that gives her the power to be able to do that and do it publicly without fear of the law, without fear of repercussion, without fear of decency. You know what I'm saying? But then again, if you look at the songs, the media, you know what I'm saying? Like, reviewing that the baby video, this is how I'm always gonna make a fuck nigga cry, and all that shit like that, right? Like to not say that even if it was a parody, let's say it is, to say that information like that doesn't get infused into the culture and it then demonstrates itself, like that video that we just watched, you'd be short-sighted to be able to say that, So her bad behavior aside, we can't also ignore that the dude signed up for that. So the dude had to have known that she's crazy as shit.
Yeah.
The dude has to have known. You have to have known. Normal people don't just get up and decide to do that. They're always crazy. They've been crazy.
Right.
So
that's a fact.
So you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if you dudes want to continue to taking risk for crazy viscous innards, you know what I'm saying? Then you're putting your valuables and your goods at risk. You know what I'm saying? You're putting it at risk. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I personally would never deal with a young lady that does any of that shit. No.
That's OD. I've never went that far. That's egregious. That's way too far.
Wait. Christina So Fly is back. Why are brothers wanting they ass ate? Because you be eating it, Christina. Get your tongue out the booty. Christina, stop. Stop doing it. Okay? Stop doing it. You salad tosser. Okay,
oh my God.
I'm done. I'm done with Christina. I've sufficiently sufficiently done with her. Okay.
Now, you know what? It's a bit of a double standard though, because had that been a man, the other way around doing that to a woman, then he would have been, because a lot of women, like I said, even going
exalted.
And I'm sure, in this chat she's not getting glory, but I could imagine on her Facebook when she was actually going live, there were a couple women, at least a handful of women that are like, you better get his ass, you better bleach his stuff, girl, you better really boasting this type of behavior. But on the other hand of that, like, do you see the double standard within that?
Yeah, it's complete double standard. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that she lives in a society where she feels as though she won't get repercussions, and anything that she does to him is complete and utter good retribution for whatever it is. Now, chances are what typically happens is that those that have the most egregious reactions are cheating themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we don't have that specific information, but oftentimes the accusers of someone else's cheating is also cheating themselves because it's top of mind for them. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, and I just said it again, the dudes have to take accountability. If you know she's crazy, if you know it, why? There's 50% of y'all and there's 50% of us. It's a big world.
Yeah,
it's a big world. Actually, in most places, I would say in America, there's actually more women than men.
Right.
More black women than men.
It is. Yeah. So
but
brother, get it together.
Yeah. But you choose a hood booger, which is
sadly but surely. And you know what? But even cheating though, how do you feel about cheating in relationships? Do you feel like maybe not to that extent, but do you feel like women are justified in the sense of, doing maybe less, throwing a PlayStation out, cutting shoestrings, shit like that? Even I don't agree with things of that nature, but do you think cheating does deserve repercussions of some sort from your partner, whether it's male or female?
Repercussions like her?
Maybe not that far. Yeah, not that far. But there's other things, like I know people control bank accounts. You might take some money out your account. You might shut down your Instagram. You might, something to that effect.
I don't think people should get revenge at the end of relationships. I don't think that they should get revenge. I think their revenge should be their upgrades within their life. Their revenge should be doing better. You know what I'm saying? So, so at the end of the day, like, I will never instruct a young man to get revenge. And I see videos all over the internet that show men how to get revenge. And it's just not a part of my soul. It's not a part of my energy. I'd rather, like, even the situation that happened to me, you know what I'm saying, when I was 20, I never got revenge. I just transmuted to better. I improved myself. I got hungry. I got deep down. You know, so I would never say that there should be a particular revenge being deployed or what have you.
What was the conversation like you had with her though? Did you like curse her out at least? I mean,
shit, what happened? No, I told her that I found out, and then her phone went off and I never saw her again. She actually moved out of the dorm room unexpectedly, because like right before it happened was before like I want to say Thanksgiving break.
Wow.
Or Christmas break. It was either one of the two. And by the time that we went back to school, her roommates told me that her apartment was gutted. So she had moved out and never came back to the school. So, I mean, it is what it is. So there really wasn't a conversation after that at all. It just literally went from the relationship to not. So.
Wow. Damn. That's even more messed up, to be honest. You gotta at least apologize. Jesus.
No, that's not within the soul of a terrorist. Of an insurgent.
Yeah. Egregious. Yeah, that's bad. Now I will say though, a lot of times when I have brothers, you said that yourself too earlier. You kind of get in this phase of like kind of like sexual exploitation. You know, they come out here and just be fucking anything that's giving something up, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think young men kind of need that strong guidance, or lacking that strong guidance to tell them that, you know, show them sexual discipline and how important it is?
Wait, I kind of missed some of the question. You said the discipline, do dudes need to go get an insurmountable amount of bodies in order to learn about women? Is that what you said?
No, that's not what I said.
Okay,
I said,
go ahead.
The opposite of that. Do they need guidance to or do you think a lot of young men are lacking guidance to show them that sexual discipline, how important sexual discipline is on their, you know, masculine journey?
Yeah, sorry about that. This is past my bedtime a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Now we about to be rocking it up.
You know, Zeze, I'm getting old, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting old. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know that discipline. And here's what it is that there's a lot of young ladies that use sex as a weapon. They use it as leverage to get the things that they want. And if you remove that power from them, then they got nothing on you. They got nothing over you. But a lot of men are willing to do very uneven things, right? Put them on pedestals, treat them how they should not be treated, all for the insides or the viscous innards, or the viscosity, as I like to refer to on my channel. I was thinking of actually changing viscous innards to butter bucket. What do you think about that, Zeze?
Where are you getting these names from?
I just be walking around making shit up. You know what I'm saying? That appropriately identify what I've experienced throughout my life. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking butter bucket. What any feedback for butter bucket?
I like.
No, is that too much? You like this?
Stick with the viscous innards.
Okay. Thanks for the feedback, Zeze.
No problem.
But yeah, but no, I think that discipline is ultimately extremely important. I think it is extremely important, because if someone doesn't have leverage over you, then they can't take advantage of you, right? And then you could just address them as from one human to another, right? Because if you don't understand that they're doing that in the moment, right? And even now myself, sometimes I get caught up. I'm like, oh shit, I see what's happening right here. Hold up, let me reel this back in, okay? Because she's using that leverage point in order to get time, attention, right? When I clearly have other things to do, got to be focused on my purpose, continuing to define my future, right? But she's using that as leverage. So as dudes, you know, come in an understanding of what that is, they can improve kind of where they are at in their life. Because listen, I still got dudes within my life that it's just pump and dump, go get one, on to the next. And the thing is like what a lot of young men don't understand is that it's very empty, right? Like I talk about on my channel too. Like, you know, I just turned 36 not too long ago. But as I've gotten older, I appreciate my Saturday and Sunday mornings way more than my Friday and my Saturday nights, meaning that I'm not going out all of this like I used to in the past. And the reason for that is because I get much more fulfillment out of my purpose and the things that I'm doing. In the beneficial thing is that as I work more in on those things, the more valuable women that will come around and be around me. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you're wasting your time, right? Like, and not even just going to the club and shit like that, but like one thing that I always talk to and ask men is like, you know, how intentional are you at becoming the absolute most awesome version that you can absolutely be, right? How much time are you being intentional in spending it on looking at filling up your Netflix account, right? Or watching all this bullshit, or, you know, playing video games, this, that, and the third, or messing with women that you know are toxic, know they ain't good for you, right? Like, how much time are you doing all of that shit versus making yourself truly uncomfortable to learn more about yourself, to develop within your purpose more? Because you'll get a lot more value within your life if you put a lot more stock into that, and you'll get a bigger return on your investment going off into the future. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, which is why I talk about so much that, you know, I'm happy that I went through that red pill rage phase, because it gave me the platform, the burning platform, to dig down deep and find out who exactly I am, which is, for men, some of the most difficult thing that you can do within your life. Because to be truly defined as a man, you have to create that. You know, a lot of young ladies, you know, can be born into who they are as a woman, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you follow the things that dudes are looking for, you can get snatched up extremely quickly. You know what I'm saying? But dudes, you know, you guys not coming for us if we still living at home with mama. You know what I mean? You're not coming for us if, you know, if we don't got no goals, no ambitions.
Yeah.
You know, you're not coming for us. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't need to have no goals and ambitions for us for the most time, for the most part. You know,
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm rambling at this point. I think it's because I'm tired.
Yeah, it's okay though, because honestly, you actually answered my last question anyway. So I was just going to ask you if you had anything to give to say to the young brothers who are on their early stages of red pill, taking the red pill and that masculine journey. If you wanted to drop any gems for them, just to wrap this up.
Yeah, so I'd say like the last gem is, you know, if you're just coming out into it, you came into it because you was Googling something that happened to you and a young lady that was in your life, understand that the things that you start to dive into, just be very cautious with the amount of content that you are absorbing. Okay. Be very cognizant. Don't get down into these holes. If you find yourself having complete and utter disdain consistently for the opposite gender, you're probably consuming too much. Step up out of it for a quick second, understand what it is. Because again, when you're dealing with that, the emotion is actually grief. And the last stage of grief is depression, right? So you don't want to consume yourself to the point where you get in a depressive state, right? So consume it earnestly and sufficiently to get the information. Also take a step back and then get yourself about the red pill rage and take true accountability for where you are at in your life, because everything that, you know, you have created for yourself is of your doing. It's of your doing. I know we're all born from different places, right? Some start with the silver spoon, some don't. Some start in the gutter, and I absolutely believe it. But there's folks from the gutter that have created and manufactured a life for themselves beyond their wildest dreams. Okay, so take accountability for that. All right.
Yeah, we love to hear it. That's a blessing.
Zeze. I appreciated this conversation, Mama.
Yes, this was nice. I'm so glad you decided to come on. It's a blessing. Did you have anything you wanted to promote before you leave it?
MTR, you can look at me, MTR, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. Feel free to come on over. We got a Patreon as well. Tonight, actually, we did Wealth Chat Wednesdays, where we go over just various financial topics. I'm also thinking about adding on a Masculinity Mondays as well. There's actually women that's down into my Patreon as well. And we just like to have dope conversations from time to time. We play video games down in there sometime as well. Oh, I got a gaming channel. I go up there and just bullshit and talk shit, you know, from time to time up there and play video games. We have fun. Way smaller audience over there as well. I think that's it. I think we can leave it there for right now. Zeze, if I'm ever in the DMV area, and I love the DMV area, I used to live around there. All right, I gotta hit you up. We gotta do lunch or something like that.
For
all right?
Sure, definitely hit me if you're ever around here. That's a fact.
All
and if I find out where you're at, you know, let me get your name and what state you live in. I'm gonna DM you. But
we're gonna talk behind scenes. We're gonna talk behind scenes.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on, man. You have a wonderful night. You gotta come back soon for sure.
All right, for sure. And good luck for you and all your efforts on the channel. You're doing absolutely awesome things.
Thank you.
So kudos to you, mama. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right. You too. Okay, guys, that is it. I think that went pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. That was a very good conversation. We love to see it. We love to hear it. Gotta love black men out here dropping them gems. Okay. So y'all know what to do. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you subscribe to my Patreon. Okay. Subscribe to my Patreon. Y'all want to ask all these damn questions in the chat? Hit the Patreon. Okay. All you gotta do is inbox me. Okay. I'm gonna read the questions. I go back to the questions at the end of the chat. It could have been good. Could have got your questions. But you ain't want to do that because you're not subscribed to my Patreon. So subscribe to my Patreon. Go follow me on Instagram, __CFWM. Everything is right there. I don't even got to tell you. Oh, my bad. Oh, that ain't everything. That's MTR stuff. Follow him too. But that's my stuff right there. Okay, Patreon is A to Z TV. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this stream. Share it. Actually, don't share it. I lied. Don't share it. I lied. This is going on Patreon. Don't share this shit. I lied. But like it. And turn on my notifications bell. Follow me on Twitter, Shotza_youth. Instagram, __CFWM. You get my cash app. You want to hit me for any donations. It's a blessing. zezebih. Other than that, baby, that's all I got. I'm gonna see y'all later. I am going live tomorrow on Instagram. Okay, I think at like 7 o'clock with Raw Podcast. So look out for that as well. But all right, y'all. Appreciate you tuning in. Bye, guys.